As always, this podcast is brought to you by Declan Kirby GAA Star. Pre-order the book now from Bookstation and be in with a chance to win a family pass to the Croke Park Museum. The new book comes out on April 21st. If you're looking to pick up any presents for any nieces or nephews in the coming weeks and months, then why not check out Declan Kirby GAA Star, best children's GAA book on the market at the minute, as voted by Amazon and Easons. It's available on all good bookshops, Amazon, Easons, absolutely everywhere. So get yourself a copy. The new book comes out on April 21st, Declan Kirby GAA Star, European Dreams. Check it out now in the description down below, and let's start the stream. Welcome back to GAA Fan TV. My name is Aaron. I'm joined here once again by Mr. John McMahon to preview the championship. We're here again, as always. The championship is back. John's back on the channel. Happy days. How's things? How are you getting on?
All is good, sir. All is good. Thank God. The weather is great. It's probably the first good bit of weather we have in a couple of days. And what does John and Aaron decide to do? Talk football for the next hour and a half. So we're smart fellas, Aaron.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't want to look at a weather forecast anyway. I mean, that's kind of how it goes. Once the championship comes around, the weather comes around as well. Even doesn't matter if it is even in early April. That's what I was going to ask you first, actually. What's your opinions on the championship being in April, the All-Ireland final then being in July? Like, I don't know, like it feels a bit weird for me. Like, I remember at the start I was like, I shouldn't really make much of a difference, but I don't know, like I feel like it is going to be a bit strange when it gets to August and there's no football, no hurling, no nothing, provided there's no replays anyway.
Yeah, look, I think like it probably will take a bit of getting used to. I think, you know, championship in April, as I said on my own podcast with yourself and Kev and who else was with us still, right? Finian Hanley, that it will definitely take a bit of getting used to. Like, I think, you know, April, Sunday game team tune this Sunday coming, like it'll definitely be a bit odd, all right. And I think it's probably the start of like a new norm, really. But it just depends how it goes. Look, we can't really do much about it, but we can definitely talk about it. It's the kind of cards we've been dealt with at the minute of time, but it definitely is a bit odd. The season's going to be over in July. We're so used to having the All-Ireland final in the third Sunday of September. That's been taken away. So, look, as I always say, the GAA is very traditional. For them to kind of change their way in this kind of regard was very odd, but it's going to be odd. Obviously, it starts this Saturday night. We could be talking about the Tyrone and Fermanagh game now in a couple of minutes, taking place this Saturday, obviously, in Brewster Park. But look, it's going to take a bit of getting used to. But look, Aaron, not to worry, because me and you are going to see a man about a dog Saturday night.
Sure, that's it, absolutely. And I mean, who knows? Could be Dublin Cavan maybe in July. It might be who knows? It could be the two going against it, the Tailteann Cup promo for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and look, it'd be great to have a day again against yourself. But yeah, I think we should challenge ourselves against Division 1 teams to see where we're at these days too. Aaron, it'd be only right for us, you know.
Fair. Well, I suppose we'll crack things off with Fermanagh and Tyrone. We will be doing a power rankings as well of the top 20 teams in the country, which Dublin are definitely in. Don't know about Cavan.
I hope Cavan are too.
We'll see. But in terms of this game, Fermanagh Tyrone, I mean, a bit of a rivalry between these two. Let's not forget it, neighbouring counties, all the rest. I mean, they've actually only played each other 5 times, going as far back as 1995 in the championship. So they haven't really played each other that much in the past, I suppose, 20 years or so. But I mean, for Tyrone, you'd feel like anything other than a win here would be a bit of an embarrassment, really.
Yeah, I think the will come out all guns blazing for this game, because look, they did have a very bog standard league, and I suppose, like, I was only thinking about it today, like the championship starting so early, the championship starting so early, like it definitely will kind of give that a lot of teams that incentive to right lads, let's push on for the year, let's get our act together. You'd like to think the Tyrone lads have sobered up from their All Ireland celebrations. But we wait and see. But no, look, it's a must win for Fergal Logan and Mr. Brian Dewar. I know a lot of the lads have Tyrone have left their panel, and I know Peter Hart and Matty Dundy's out for the rest of the season. Word on the street, Peter Hart had his appendix out last weekend, so they're going to be upset for the game. But you really do feel that they should have enough. Really going into it, Christ Camp would have played down there a lot. It's a very, very tight pitch. Fermanagh make life very, very difficult for any team that comes down there. So you'd be thinking they will park the bus, no doubt about it. Mr. Quigley be up top by himself for large parts of that game. Will it be the best game to kickstart this 2022 championship? Probably not, Aaron. Any game Fermanagh's nearly involved in, it's normally a bore fest. So it's not going to be setting the world alight. So I'd recommend, if anyone has any Saturday night plans, definitely do something else other than watch this game. But that's where we're at. But Tyrone really should be looking at a 5-6 point win. I think they really will they have to set their stall out. We have to see what they're like. They had a very bog standard league campaign, so they really need to be all going to play as a Saturday night to prove a big point. They probably, again, they're always a big critic. So look, they really should be coasting out the victory. But again, it won't be easy. Fermanagh's going to park the bus, and Mr. Quigley, as I said in the podcast during the week, he could be a man to watch this weekend. But really, Tyrone should have enough, and I think it's time for them boys to sober up, Aaron.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine what that hangover is like. To be fair, I wouldn't. You'd like to beat them, winning All Ireland and all the rest, but I'd say it is quite the hangover. Viable solutions here, saying Tyrone all day, move on. Yeah, I mean, look,
we move on. We don't have much.
Yeah, we really don't, to be fair. But yeah, generally, I mean, like Fermanagh, like as we were saying there, or as you were saying with Sean Quigley, what a stalwart he's obviously been for Fermanagh this year, and obviously since coming back into the team last year. 430 in total this year, which is an extraordinary tally from him. Who do you think picks him up? I mean, that could be I'm hoping anyway. It's a bit of a take like that. That's kind of the only thing really that kind of, when you're tuning in into Sky Sports to watch this game, that's the kind of the one little ingredient there that sounds kind of tasty.
Oh, it does, big man. It does. But who would be picking him up? Look, I'm not sure what taxi services go about for man on a Saturday night, so it just does depend. Look, probably Ronan McNamee. I'd well imagine if Ronan McNamee's fine fit for this game, I'd imagine him. It'll probably be a double man market job. You're probably talking back to me. Michael Buchanan will probably sit in front of him. But look, again, that probably is the big talk about going into this game, the performance of Quigley, because he is going to be absolutely essential if Fermanagh want to get out of there with a win. So he's going to be essential to the Fermanagh cause. But look, really, you can't look anywhere else other than that at a win, because look, as I keep saying, they will be mad to set out their stall nice and early. I keep saying it was a bad league campaign. A lot of critics at the minute, a lot of lads leaving the panel. You're talking, 7 lads left the panel at this stage. I don't even know how they're fit to even field the team at this point, but obviously Brian Dewar's found some players from somewhere. But look, I think it's a big game for the likes of, say, you're talking your likes of Conor Mile, or you're talking Darren McCurry. Like, if this is the game to say, right, Tyrone's here for the season, Brewster Park, tight pitch. This is the perfect game for a lot of these boys to step up and say, right, we're here. We're going to give this Ulster Championship a good rattle. We're going to give the All Ireland a rattle. And really, they should be going in with the mindset, right, lads, I know this is going to be a tight pitch. I know Fermanagh make life very difficult for every team to play. But let's go out here and let's get a 7 or 8 point win and blow them out of the water. Because we're looking at the last year's All Ireland champions. There's some juicy forwards. And they should really be making a big step into this weekend, Aaron.
Yeah, Viable Solution says here as well. Lovely to see a Cavan man jumping on the bandwagon. Got the right jersey on for this year. I was just telling him there that I was nearly going to kick him off the podcast there, but Cavan haven't won much in the last 50 years, so we'll let him on.
We played them in 2013. Oh, if you like this jersey, Orga Retro Wear, use the promo code JMAC Podcast to get 15% off. They're lovely, lovely jerseys. If you have any interest in them, that tune are in. No, they're lovely jerseys. But last time we would have played Kerry was 2017, a league game, championship 2013. So yeah, Aaron, I wouldn't say jumping on the bandwagon. It's the only t-shirt I had left to wear for this podcast. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. No, it's all good. We'll let you away with it. But on Saturday now, you'll definitely have to change and mix it up. Well, here's a question for you anyway. When was the last time Fermanagh bet Tyrone? Now, here's one now. You have to really test your knowledge there. Maybe for anyone watching in the comments, they can.
Do you know the answer?
Hazarding a guess. I do know the answer. It took me a while to go back and search this and find this out. But
when was the last time Fermanagh bet Tyrone in a game of football?
In the championship now, in the championship, but I didn't have time to go back and look at league results and all the rest. Jeez, that would have been too much work now.
Oh, big man, that you're talking 70s, would you be?
No, a little bit higher, 1982, 40 years ago, the last time Fermanagh bet Tyrone in the championship. 40 years ago, come this June, so that might be a good omen, maybe. You know what I mean? That might be something that could spur the Fermanagh men on.
Oh, no, 100%. Look, I think if Fermanagh want to be real about this, right, they have to set their stall out early, right? Against Tyrone and the talent pool players that they have, they will have to make this game ugly on Saturday night. They will have to get down and dirty. They will have to park the bus. It won't be a good game to watch by all accounts. But Fermanagh want to go out and get the win here. They will just have to play, as Joe Brawley said about Cavan football back in 2013. Puke football, dark, woeful football, ugly as Marty Marcy, all this kind of nonsense. They will just have to make life very hard for Tyrone, and that's the bottom line. Whether it's writing, I don't do a ricey on it, write down some of the players' girlfriends' numbers on their hand or something, just be absolutely cynical this Saturday, because look, I know there will be a lot of responsibility on Mr. Sean Quigley's shoulders this weekend. One forward probably won't beat Tyrone by themselves. I know Sean Quigley is flying, but look, it'll just have to be a no-nonsense, boring performance by Fermanagh if they want to get any luck. Home advantage might be key, but look, as probably as your commenter said, there's probably not much more to say. Like if Tyrone have any ambitions this year, they have to be looking at a 7 or 8 point win. I know they're down tools, but look at their starting 15. Honest, they are one of the best teams in this lovely island of ours.
Yeah, and I suppose with the Tailteann Cup as well, obviously coming into the mix, and if Fermanagh were to be beaten by Tyrone, they'd go into the Tailteann Cup, which I believe starts in around May or June, I think it is there. But could the Tailteann Cup even maybe, I was even thinking there as well, it could even maybe improve some of the lesser teams, even in the championship, because they might maybe give an extra 5 to 10%, because if you're even thinking about it, like if you're 10, 15 points down against Tyrone going into the final 20 minutes, you know, you're already seeing the beach, your holidays, your days off, you know what I mean? Like in terms of playing inter-county football, you know, your year is pretty much done. You might get a game in the qualifiers, but then that's pretty much it. So it might maybe give like management more chance to use more players and maybe players to give an extra 5 to 10% because they won't want to miss out in what is going to be the most riveting tournament in Gaelic football history in the Tailteann Cup.
Oh my God, I'm not looking forward to it. Look, I think any county player worth his salt is always going to be focusing towards the provincial championship, and Fermanagh in the Ulster Championship, they haven't been in the final since 2008, and that was against Armagh. Armagh took them to a replay. Armagh got over the line the second day. Right. Fermanagh will be mad to right that wrong, but unfortunately at the minute, they just don't have the players to push them on. I know Ryan McCluskey, Kieran Donnelly will be mad to get a win against Tyrone this weekend, but realistically, they just don't have the talent to do it. Ulster Championship, your provincial championship, is the one you want to be getting your hands on. And then Tailteann Cup probably is just a sideshow. But if you've any ambitions, you want to be going up them steps of Clonus, lifting the Anglo-Cell Cup, and just making it a proud day for your county. Like the Tailteann Cup, like it's like the Tommy Murphy Cup back in the day. You just don't want to be in that competition. You want to be competing for the top trophies. That's what people remember you for. Like, let's say Cavan have a run in that competition this year, and you'll get to the semi-final or final. Who in the name of God is going to remember 20 years? Oh, Jesus, we got to the semi-final of that competition. It's all about the top honours. It's all about the Anglo-Cell Cup for Fermanagh, realistically. And just that Tailteann Cup, Christ bless and save us. It's more nonsense, Aaron. You can read, like, I know people say momentum and blah, 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 and this, that, the other, and it's another competition to fight in. If you have any ambitions as a county, you have to be going for the top honours. Bottom line, AP,
Yeah, I think it depends really how they promote it as well, though. Like, if they show games, or how it's going to work. Really, I think if they don't show any games and there's no real discussion, and it gets a 5-minute highlight reel on the Sunday game, then I don't really think many people are going to be interested, and I think it probably will become like the Tommy Murphy Cup. But at the same time, though, it could be a bit of a springboard. Like, you look at the Meath ladies, for example, who came from intermediate all the way up into senior and then won the All Ireland. So, I mean, it could be like there is an argument there that maybe some counties could use the Tailteann Cup to their benefit. But as you said, at the same time, like you just don't really know what to be thinking, really.
True enough, Forrest. True enough. But look, it's all about the top honours. Like let's say, right. I know it is all about the championship, but it's like the back door and all these bits and pieces. But like, I keep referring to this point. It's all about the top honours and competing at the highest level and performing at the highest level, and that's what all the players want to do. So look, any county just like training this week for Fermanagh lads, they will be thinking, right, lads, how in the name of God are we going to stop the likes of Conor Myler, Niall Sludden, Darren McCurry? It's the Ulster Championship. It's a red heated battle. That's what you want to be involved in. If Fermanagh, okay, eventually probably will be better Saturday night, don't get me wrong, more than likely doom and gloom, because they'll be thinking to themselves, right, lads, we could be playing a Wicklow, we could be playing a bloody Leitrim, all this kind of crack. That's not really what the players signed up for. So I really do think counties should just, throw their eggs into a basket, compete at the top level. I know resources can be limited. I know players can be limited, but look, at the end of the day, Big AP, it's all about climbing up them steps to the Hogan stand.
100%. Viable Solution says here, quiz question for you guys. Who are the only team that Kerry have never beaten in the All-Ireland, and there's only one? That's definitely an interesting one. I'd hazard a guess and say Antrim off the top of my head. Maybe because they've never played them in the championship, but I could be completely wrong there. What do you reckon? Could it be Cavan? Maybe it's Cavan.
Maybe, yeah. All these questions. I'm just about recovering from a wedding. Can all these questions stop for the minute? I'm already finding your question tough enough, big man.
Yeah, 100%. But you're back in Tyrone anyway, I think. For prediction. Look,
the dog in the street is back in the bins outside your house is back in Tyrone. But it's all about seeing what way Fermanagh set up and see how they're fixed and give the game a right rattle. Kieran Donnelly knows how to win big games. Ryan McCluskey's involved in the backroom team. He will know the Tyrone team inside and out. I really hope Fermanagh can give a good account of themselves. At the end of the day, it'll have to be a dirty performance. It'll have to be park the bus. It'll just be getting men behind the ball, all this kind of jazz. It's not going to be a good game to watch. Will it be tight? It probably will up until the 50th, 60th minute. Tyrone probably pull away the last couple of minutes, but a dazzler action coming into fruition. But look at again, Tyrone set the marker down and sober up from that holiday.
Yeah, Viable Solution says County Down, we played them 6 times and never beat them. So there you go. There's a fun fact of the day. Well, Down and Kerry definitely won't be playing each other anytime soon. So there's no worry of that record being beaten anytime soon.
That was going to cause me a sleepless night. Thank God that was answered. Oh,
London versus Leitrim. I mean, this is definitely a game that would make your mouth water this weekend. I mean, there's all sorts of big sporting games on this weekend, but I think, with all due respect, to be fair, I actually think this probably will be the most competitive game of the weekend.
It will,
and it will be entertaining. I think we won't see any of it, but I'm sure it will be a good game, like to not watch, I guess.
To not watch. No, 100% big man. Look, this game will be very interesting, and I really do give London a huge chance. They only bet Cavan by a point, so that really goes to show where they're at. They have a lot of kind of quality players, like ourselves going over to play them that time a couple of weeks ago. We didn't know much about them. They're laden with talent. We know about Gavigan. Lorcan Mulvey, the backroom team, a good Cavan man. He's giving them a good hand. Michael Maher, young fella, taking that job on. So full of enthusiasm, full of kind of life. So look, I think I really do give London a huge chance in this game. You're looking at the Andy Bourne factor. Obviously, these guys did play each other in the league, so they'll know a bit about each other. But Connacht Championship, Andy Bourne, first kind of championship job. He'd be mad to get off the win here. Will it mean bringing the likes of Ed Mulligan, Keith Byrne, all these kind of players into action? But no, look, it probably will be the game of the weekend from the 3 games we are going to be looking at, because I can see that Fermanagh Tyrone game just being a bore fest. New York and Sligo, we'll touch on that a couple of minutes. That'll just be a write-off too. So we like London and Leitrim. Who would have thought we're going to be looking to them to kind of save the weekend, Aaron? But I think this will be a very, very tight game. It probably will go down to the wire. You could be looking at a bit of a draw here, my man.
Yeah, and it's actually the only game that isn't on TV as well. I think New York and Sligo is on GAA Go, so you'd almost feel that the GAA do this on purpose or something. They look at the best game from every weekend. They're like, right, you're not watching that one.
100%. And like, to be fair, and I know we'd probably be a bit worse for wear on Sunday, so probably would have been missing the game if it was on TV anyway. But look, these kind of games you do want to watch. Like, what says that game? Like, say Leitrim fans can't go to that game on Sunday. Why can't it be on GAA Go? London fans, I know they'll probably go to it, but like, people would have loved to tune into that game. More revenue for the GAA. They are missing the serious tricks by not having these games on. I can't understand it. I know I can understand the New York and Sligo game being on because it's a novice, New York, blah blah blah. Sligo's going to win that game, like barring some absolute calamity. But look, referring back to the game, look, I think Leitrim are they going to win a Connacht championship anytime soon? Probably not. They're probably looking at the league campaign to get up a division, maybe. Look, Andy Boren, that project, it's I know McGarty said it on the podcast during the week, but it is hard to know what he really wants to achieve there. I know Leitrim's near where he lives. Maybe it's a cushy, handy job for him. Who knows? But look, a win at the weekend, and that's probably Leitrim's season, really. After that, it's probably just a bonus. Look, that will be a tricky game because London, it can't be an easy place to go to. It's a minefield. You don't have much knowledge about the players, the ins and outs. It will be a very, very tight game. And like Michael Maher, it'd be great to see him maybe get a bit of a run or, cause a bit of an upset on Sunday. But no, that'll, weirdly and funnily enough, Aaron, that will actually be a decent game to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And Keith Byrne suspended as well. So that'll definitely that'll be a tough one from a Leitrim perspective. Of course, the winner of this playing Mayo as well. So you could have a scenario where you've Andy Moran going up against his former county in the semi-finals. That would be a tasty one.
Yeah.
But who are you backing here? So London, Leitrim, what do you reckon?
Oh, big man! I tell you what, that could be a draw, and Leitrim to shade at an extra time.
Yeah, I think I'd probably agree with you there. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. At the same time, though, penalties maybe could potentially come into this.
Frank Lampard, some of the boys might step up.
Yeah. Maybe Lampard will get himself out of a hole down in Everton, and a confidence after beating United. But sure look, you walked yourself into that one.
No, look, big man, it'll be an exciting game, and. Yeah, I think I'll go with a draw in that game, but it's one of them games you really couldn't call. But look, we'll go with a draw.
Yeah, New York going up against Sligo. I mean, I
really did save the best games. The first, who sorted this first weekend of the championship, lads? Mother of God, like there must have just been the blindfolded, right, like
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what to say about this game, really. I mean, the only kind of interesting thing is both managers are from Armagh. Johnny McGeaney of New York, obviously Tony McEntee of Sligo. Apparently, I seen a tweet. They only live 2 miles apart, supposedly. So, although Johnny McGeaney, I think, I'd imagine he's living in New York now, but they're from. They're from very close to each other in Armagh, from what I've heard. So this might be a bit feisty, maybe down there on the sidelines.
It might be. And for I think it was Finian Handley was saying in my podcast during the week that it's actually a nightmare trip because you're going over, you're staying the night, and then you're playing the game, and then it's home time again. So it's probably not the trip we're all thinking, right, that's going to be unbelievable. So it seems like a bit of a nightmare, judging by what Finian Handley's saying. So look, Sligo to get over there and get the win. There is obviously that bit of emotion going over there with poor Red Oak Murphy, like Sligo's first competitive game since the young fella dying. Obviously, I've said it on my own podcast, but Christ bless the saves, lads. Just in relation to all that, I know it's probably an unrelated topic, but Christ, lads, if there's anyone struggling out there, or just pick up the phone, text somebody. There's so much support out there. So, honestly, lads, if there's anything struggling out there, please just get in contact with someone, because I think that news of Red Oak probably knocked the country for 6. So there is obviously going to be serious emotion with that, but Red Oak, be good to you. But look, there will be that bit of emotion with Sligo this weekend. I think they'll want to put in a big performance for Red Oak. I think they will get off to a good start. I think New York have a full forward called Finian was saying.
Adrian Varley, I think it is.
Yeah,
Varley.
Varley, yeah. And then there's oh man, jeez! I tell you what, Aaron, this kind of reminds me of the League of Ireland fan when he's talking about the talking to our roof.
The fella in the green and white shirt, yeah.
Oh, lads, seriously, GAA, why did you do this to us with these fixtures? But look, Aaron, Sligo to go over there, get a win, and oh man, just what more can you say? Just get a win.
You don't think New York will use the 8.5 million population to find themselves 15 better footballers than Sligo?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, I was in New York, America. I was there in 2017 and I came home, I'd say a stone or two heavier. So if some of the lads aren't committing to the portion of food over there, and as well as that, Aaron, you had to give a tip for everything you got over there too. So that obviously with our reputation, with all the slagging you give me, that was obviously a painful on the pockets. But New York, look at it's hard to know what to say about them. Fair play. They haven't played the championship in a couple of years. They'll be looking to just get a performance, see where it happens after that. Leave it to maybe 6 or 7 points. Maybe Sligo go handy on them. But I think, look, at Sligo, given that everything's gone on the last couple of weeks, they'll be mad to put in a big performance. I think the top scorers or the best attack statistically, as you were saying on your own podcast or this podcast. So that's
second
impressive.
Best, yeah.
Second best. So yeah, look, Sligo by 7-8 points, they'll go home, and it's hard to know what more to say about that. And it's on GAA Go this weekend. But fair play, New York. The Gaelic grounds, obviously, it's great to see back in the TV again, getting the coverage it deserves. New York, they're probably putting in big effort over there, and they're going to get their day in the sun this Sunday, AP.
100%, yeah, and hopefully, anyways, we can. Well, hopefully enough anyway, be a good spectacle to watch. I suppose we'll move on then to some football power rankings. We're going to look at the top 20 teams in the country. First of all, do Cavan get in the top 20?
What was that Brian Clough said years ago? I'd say Cavan are the best team in the top 1. I know big man.
Cavan are the best team in Cavan, I think.
Look, a big man. I don't know. Like these power rankings, they're a bit of a minefield, and the off the ball boys doing them. They get a lot of sticks, so you're entering into dangerous territory, horse. Where I look, Cavan, I don't know, 15, 14, maybe. You probably don't have them included, do you?
No, I don't have them in the top in my top 20 anyway. I was kind of
right, Darren. I'll see you Saturday. Take it easy.
Right. No, see, I don't know. It was between I think Cavan, Antrim, Fermanagh. I don't know. I couldn't split the three of them. Like Fermanagh at 20, Antrim at 19. I thought maybe Cavan, maybe Tipperary.
Is there a mirror behind you there? Do you want to have a look in the mirror and just see if you're
see if I'm going a bit mentally insane? I personally think though. I think because I think Antrim are going to turn over Cavan in a couple of weeks' time. I think resolute defensively, the end of McGinley job that he's done there. I think Antrim will find a way. I think Fermanagh, I mean, they beat you last year. Let's not forget as well in the league, consistently there in Division 3. I think Cavan, like, they have the better players, no doubt about it, than Fermanagh and Antrim. But I just think looking at what Antrim or Fermanagh, like looking at, obviously Cavan won that Ulster title, but kind of looking away from that, I don't know. I just kind of have Antrim or Fermanagh. But I think though Cavan, with a couple of good results this year, I think they definitely they could get into the top 15. Like,
I know, yeah. Look, they will shoot up and they will get their house back in order. They need a big couple of championship performances. You're not judged on the league really. I know power rankings is on current form. Last couple of years has been shaky, but I keep saying that we need a big look. We'll talk about the Antrim game next week, but we need a big performance against them to shoot up, get that bit of respect by everyone again. We need to get down there, get the result, and that's what it's all going to be about. But yeah, just not in the top 20. Holy God, big man. Right, let's... what's that Paddy McGuinness used to say on First Dates? Was it, or not even First Dates, Blind Dates? What was that show we used to present? Let the eggs see the spoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, I'll call out my 20-10, shall we say, and
And
then
I'll tell you how you're wrong. Right, let's
yeah,
go.
we'll get your opinion on it there. So Fermanagh in at 20, Antrim 19, Westmeath 18, Offaly 17, Limerick 16, Cork 15, Louth 14, Meath in at 13th, Clare in 12th, Derry 11th, Galway 10th. What you reckon?
Yeah, look, yeah, it's just it's hard listening on to it because like I know look opinions are like arseholes, everyone has one, but realistically we are on the same level as the likes of Meath and Clare. That's the fuck. Sorry, that's I was going to curse there. Sorry, or do you mind cursing on this? Sorry.
Curse away all you want. Just be a little careful. That's all.
Oh, yeah, you know me.
Don't go too far now. You know.
You know me. I'm very law abiding. No, look. You see, before you go on, sorry to put in, but what I'm saying is right. That top 10, the likes of Clare, your Meath, your Westmeads, that's where we are at, really, and just maybe a step above that. So for us not to be, and I know obviously this is your own power rankings, but God, Aaron, we're at the same level as them boys. There's no doubt. But go on ahead.
Yeah, no, I really do think, I think, because I remember when I was making this, there was really the top 10 really were fairly unanimous of putting in there. After Galway, like Derry, like there's a bit of a drop there. I think like you're looking like Clare, Meath, Louth, Cork, Limerick, Offaly, Westmeath, Antrim, Fermanagh. After that, like Tipperary, Cavan, like really there isn't a lot between a lot of those counties, like, and they could easily shoot up and down quite a bit in that rankings, I think, in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, 100%. Like, but you saying that and kind of like comparing the teams to the likes of the Clares and like of this world, and it's just about getting that respect of everyone again, Aaron. And what's that saying? The only way you can get respect is by working hard, and that's what me and you know all about.
I have Cork in at 15. Well, look, I mean, we work hard, working hard or hardly working, as they say.
Working efficiently.
There you go. And one team that probably hasn't been working efficiently this year has been Cork. I have them at 15. I don't know, like, could be lower them, but like they also have the potential. They also have the potential to be higher. They're a weird one, really. And Louth at 14. I don't think many people would have had.
I would have put Louth up further, which if
you think so, yeah.
Yeah, like they're just going to make a bit of noise, like. I took you while they did it.
Showing a lot of heart, all the rest.
There's the one with Sam, Fireman Sam. But what's your top 10? I'm interested to hear these. Let's
go. Top 10. So yeah, Galway in at 10, as I said there. We've Roscommon 9, Monaghan 8, Kildare 7, Donegal 6, Dublin 5, Armagh 4, Tyrone 3, Mayo 2, Kerry 1.
Kerry 1. Yeah, that does. Yeah,
I think Kerry are a good bit ahead as well. Like let's be perfectly honest there.
They're like a 0.1 or something.
Yeah, like at 1 point, like it's just, if this was in a computer or something, the computer would stop functioning as it got to number 1. It'd just be like system overload, way too far ahead.
Yeah, like it's hard to disagree with any of that, and I know there is a lot of hype about Armagh at the minute. Look, I think we will really start jumping on this Armagh hype train in the championship. If they can put a big result in against Donegal and go down to Ballybofey and get the win, then we will start believing in this. Well, look, McGeeney's been there 7 years, so now he's like a shit or bust, Aaron, really, at this stage. Kieran Donaghy's gone up there as well. Now is the time for this team. So much talk, so much money pumped into that. Like that black jersey as well. Like if they aren't successful in that black jersey, they just may forget about it. But now's time for Kieran McGeeney to show up. What's that saying? Show up or don't show up at all.
There you go. Go hard or go home, as they say as well. And yeah, I mean, what did you make of Rian O'Neill? His suspension being overturned. I mean, that was a
bit dicey. I don't know. Did you ever hear that phrase? A few brown envelopes. And there is a lot of coin in Armagh now. So judge if you have Mr. Star Donaghy down there, I'm just waiting for Armagh to give me you the ring. But no, a bit dodgy. The hearing only took a couple of minutes. But look,
yeah.
In all seriousness, right, and probably from whatchamacallit, if you don't support other teams, it's
neutral point of view.
A neutral point.
There you go. Helped you out there. Like it's like a game of guess the word or whatever.
Oh God! From a neutral point of view, it's great to see Ray O'Neill playing against Donegal in a couple of weeks' time. You need. I said this in our WhatsApp group chat yesterday when you were watching the Champions League game with your feet up. It's you need to see the best players played in these games, big man. That's a fact. Ray O'Neill will light it up in Ballybofey. I know Mr. Neil McGee will be saying everything under the sun to him, but look, that's going to be such an exciting game project. You need the best players playing. It's the Ulster Championship. Will the three other lads get off? I'm not sure. I couldn't really understand it when I heard Ray O'Neill. It only took a couple of minutes. It was on a technicality, which I couldn't really understand. So it's a bit dodgy, but he's fit to play, and I wouldn't mind hearing more details about it. But I doubt we'll be hearing them because it's all a bit dodgy.
Yeah, it is a bit interesting, all right, because I think Kieran Mackin, Aidan Nugent, and Stephen Campbell, I think they're still suspended. So
that's what,
it's so it's like, and I didn't see the incident myself. Like, obviously, when you watch the clip, I mean, it's just, it's just lads going at it everywhere. It's like something you'd see outside McDonald's at 4:30. You know what I mean? Just lads going at it everywhere. So, I don't really know how they've judged that he hasn't done that in compared to the other lads.
But it doesn't make sense, and like it kind of it brings, and maybe we're overthinking it, but it does make a bit of a farce of it. If the other three lads haven't got word back and they're hearing yet, something is amiss there. But look, it is great to see him playing the game. He will cause Donegal a lot of problems. A lot of people have probably said, right, Armagh have a big chance there. They probably were saying Donegal all day with Ray O'Neill was out suspended. He's back. How he's back, we're not sure. But look, it adds to the excitement, and that's going to be a mouth-watering game on BBC.
It sure will, make no mistake about it. I had Monaghan at 8 and Kildare at 7. So what do you reckon there? I mean, Monaghan finished ahead of Kildare. They've been consistent in Division 1 over the last couple of years. But then Kildare beat Monaghan quite comfortably. So it's kind of, I have Kildare ahead of Monaghan, but I think it's a hard one to judge that one.
Yeah, no, look, that's one. I tell you what this reminds me of. Did you ever watch Apra's match where Andy Reid? This a fair play if you've seen this now. Andy Reid was picking his top Irish players or something, and you had the sketch of Dunphy and John Giles or something saying, "No, this isn't right. That's not right." Did you ever see that sketch on YouTube, by any chance?
I don't think I probably did see it before, but I've seen a lot of Apra's match now before.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, so I could only do don't feel this. But no, look, that's probably one of which substitute, because I just think Monaghan's performance on the last day against the all-conquering Dublin was sensational. Whatever it is about Monaghan on the last day, so I probably would put Monaghan ahead there. Kildare's league was fairly up and down. I know that a good scalp against Dublin, had a good few home displays, but yeah, I'd probably throw Monaghan reluctantly, because Christ, there is that bit of a rivalry there, ahead of the Lily Whites.
Yeah, and Donegal, I mean, they're another sort of strange one as well. Like, I have them I have them in at 6, but could be lower, could be higher. I mean, and you look at, as we were saying before, like, obviously having Armagh at home in Ballybofey, where they have a brilliant record, they'll obviously comfortably dispatch yourselves then in the semi-finals.
Yourselves or Antrim? You said Antrim.
Oh, Antrim, sorry, yeah. But if you do get the better of Antrim,
I love the way you just said. You're like Jim Gavin that time Connolly was back for Dublin. Oh yeah, Jeremy Connolly's just back training with us. Oh yeah, probably the biggest news story. And you just say there, when just get rid of Hughes in the championship. Hughes Dubs.
That's it. You have to keep a cold face around here. Half the time. You need to say it how it is.
And who's going to win, Antrim or Cavan?
I just think it's going to be Antrim. I just have a sneaky feeling. I'm not just saying that now because you're here. Like, I actually do think at home, Corrigan Park, I think they've done a lot of good work.
It's a tight ground. It's a tight ground. It shouldn't have been played there. There should have been another stadium, but that's another day's conversation. Don't mention the war.
Stop. We're going into a minefield there.
Dublin
what do you
5.
Dublin 5?
No, you had Dublin at 5th, don't you?
Oh yeah, Dublin at 5th. Yeah, Dublin at 5th. Dublin at 5.
Wait a minute. You've Monaghan. You've Dublin ahead of Monaghan, do you?
I've Dublin ahead of Monaghan. Yeah. See,
it's a power rankings, big man.
Yeah, but see, at the same time though, like, because it is a strange one, because like with Dublin and Monaghan, because I think Dublin are way more likely to win an All Ireland this year than Monaghan are.
But it's how did these power rankings work? Like, is it on current form,
Mm.
or is it like based on championship and league? Like, of course, I've never done one, no skin in the game, but is it just on current form, or is it like a general,
I'd say, yeah, a general overview really of who are better. You know what I mean? Who are the better teams, and
currently?
yeah, and you'd go from this year. Obviously, you'd look at form in the league and all the rest. And obviously, you'd look at
Yeah,
Dublin and look they although they have been terrible this year, make no mistake about that. And I don't think they'll come anywhere near winning an All Ireland this year. But at the same time, they do have players in there that if they can get going, which is probably unlikely in Fenton,
yeah,
in these lads, you could still have Conor O'Callaghan to come back in. So there's a
yeah, yeah.
potential maybe, but I suppose you could make the argument as well though that maybe they should be behind Kildare and Monaghan. But then again, I'd have Donegal ahead of Kildare and Monaghan. So it's a strange one. Do you know what I mean?
But like, I think I said this to you a few weeks ago. Like regarding Dublin, there is no real panic stations there, right? Because the bet Donegal, dispatched to Donegal, dispatched to Tyrone, and then their final game against Monaghan in Monaghan on the final day, piping hot day, and we're only bet by a point. So a bit of perspective needed. Dublin aren't in as bad a position. I know the start of the league off horrendously bad, but the bet Donegal in Croke Park, fair enough, always beat them there. And then the bet Tyrone up in Tyrone. I know Tyrone had a dodgy league, but a bit of perspective, and they're only bet by Monaghan by a point. That's Kerry. If they went down to Clonus this year, they would have struggled on the last day. So Dublin aren't as bad as everyone thinks they are. I think a bit of perspective, and I know they could see it a lot there, but they attacked very well that day too against Monaghan. So they're not in as bad a position as current form probably states and look into the championship. But I think if you're looking at power rankings, probably Monaghan might pip them to the post there, but it's it's a nightmare, these rankings, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is all right, and make no mistake about that. And Sir Klopp says I'd put Monaghan and Galway ahead of Kildare. So
Roll papers coming, Mr.
there
Kloppy.
you go.
Do you not have a game in a few minutes?
Yeah, he's coming on here first. This is where he gets the
preparation.
Motivation. Do you know what I mean?
Preparation
is key. But what was I gonna say? Roscommon at 9, Galway at 10. I mean, I don't think you can really have too many complaints there. The top 4: Armagh, Tyrone, Mayo, Kerry. Obviously, Kerry at 1, Mayo at 2, Armagh 3, Tyrone 3, Armagh 4. It's a weird one because the thing is about these power rankings as well is that it's going to be because of the way the provincial championships are. It's going to be much harder for Armagh and Tyrone to win an All Ireland probably than Dublin. Although I don't think, I think if Dublin play either one of those, Armagh, Tyrone, in the championship at some stage, I think it's very likely that maybe Armagh and Tyrone could beat them. But what do you reckon for the likes of Armagh, Tyrone? Like, could the All Ireland be staying in Ulster this year?
Oh, big man, it's the $1 million question. Like, I think it does. Like, I know we were talking about it earlier on, but it does depend what kind of performance Tyrone have this weekend. We know where they're at. It's the White Heat Championship battle. But I was kind of thinking, like, has this gave a lot of teams much of an opportunity? Because we're talking about the championship now. It's not the league. It's not the FBT league. It's not the McKenna Cup. It's not this. It's not that. So has these couple of weeks give teams much of a chance to prepare? You'd like to think a lot of teams will have big responses, e.g. ourselves. But it's hard to know. So we will see this Saturday against Fermanagh what way Tyrone are probably going to go this year. It'll not be a defining game for the season, but we'll see where they're at for the championship. But look at Armagh won't win the All Ireland this year. I'd be fairly confident that. I think it's probably a year too early. I think they will be setting their sights on an Anglo-Cell Cup, make no doubt about it. Tyrone have a chance. I think after last year, they upset a lot of people. Not upset, like they upset like a lot of results. So I think Tyrone do have a good chance. The men that probably did lose that opted out, they really were impact subs, panel players. So probably not massive losses. Maybe Rian O'Neill, maybe Tiernan McCann. But after that, you probably wouldn't be losing too much sleep, really. I know Paul Donaghy left there last week. So again, not massive losses. So Tyrone probably aren't in too bad of a position. Cutest Fox is up there. We all know about that. I hope they're all right from the COVID now. But look, we'll wait and see. But I give Tyrone more of a chance than Armagh, big man. I know there's a lot of talk about Armagh, but I think they'll be setting their sights on an Anglo-Cell Cup.
Yeah, and as for Mayo in it too, I know me and you speaking about Mayo definitely has ruffled feathers down the years, and they, all the Mayo gurus definitely seem to be out for you for whatever reason. So Am I being generous having them in 2? Would you have them lower, or could they maybe?
Oh, you have them at number 2, do you?
Have them at number 2. Yeah.
Oh, right. I wouldn't have them at number 2 because I thought they were very poor during the league. I'm not even sure how they got to a league final. Some of the performances just were not great. I'd nearly have. Who would I have in number 2? See, it is such a minefield. It just depends what when you're talking about power rankings. Are you it's so hard to know what these might I'd nearly have the likes of maybe even Dublin in number 2, or even the likes of maybe a Tyrone to a degree. Because Mayo's league final was absolutely horrendous. And I still don't think they were great during the league. So I don't even know if it would obviously carry number 1 by a mile. But to be fair, if you were to overthink it, but I think the likes of Tyrone or a Dublin, but Jesus, Mayo, they just didn't really. I don't know if they convince you during the league, but some bad performances. I think the league final, he really capped off how bad they were during the league.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in the first sort of half of the league, I think they were quite impressive. They were quite good. They did have injuries in there, and they've obviously had to bring through a lot of younger players. They've had a bit of a transition in there at times, and I think they've been okay. They've been all right defensively throughout. Yeah. But at the same time with Mayo, I don't think they were anywhere near their best throughout the league. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think they needed to be at their best. They were probably going really at probably 50-60% throughout the majority of the league, and then they still made the league final. So obviously there definitely were some disappointing performances, without question. But even though they had a couple of disappointing performances, they still had some good results, and probably is a sign of a good team that can get results when they're not playing well.
Well, yeah, I don't think they probably put a lot of emphasis in the league, and James Horan probably known for not putting much emphasis in the league, and maybe not treating with the respect it probably does deserve. But I think a lot of the performances weren't really great. I know they did get to this year's league final, fair enough. Kerry won at a canter really, but you're probably looking at on current form, they probably are number 2, because if you're to rate where counties are and all this kind of crack, but geez, if you're looking at some of the performances, you wouldn't just be writing home about them. And Mayo will know what work they need to do. It'd be interesting to see can Killy O'Connor get back fit. That's going to be absolutely essential for the green and red. But Christ, if to give you a headache talking about the big man, because if you're a fan, we'll say no more.
Yeah, Peter says here Galway should be in the
Peter
in the top 5. That is a bold statement right there. I mean, they did have the best attack statistically in the league, but of course they weren't playing as higher quality opposition as the likes of your Kerrys and your Mayos and whatnot. Sir Klopp says there, this is his power rankings: Kerry, Tyrone, Mayo, Dublin, Armagh,
fair play to game now in 40 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. You have to. Multitasking is key there, John. It definitely is. Viable solutions there. Kerry and Tyrone in the top 2. Roscommon in a 3, which is definitely an interesting one
that could be a shout. That could be a shout because they played better football, and I know the quality of opposition, but they definitely play better football than the green and red of Mayo.
100%. Yeah. Well, I suppose
I would give Roscommon a big shout. I would, because the football that they played, it was a nice brand of football, and they were playing Derry, they were playing Roscommon at Derry, they're playing Galway as well, so there was playing Clare too. So I think they do definitely deserve a higher position in your rankings, big man. So no, if I was you, I'd be staring at that piece of paper now when you're finished this podcast, big man.
Well, it's not a piece of paper; it's the lovely notepad. It's virtual, so
very fancy. New Dubs standard procedure horse.
That's it, I mean, you'll catch up at some point, maybe in Cavan. You'll get there eventually.
We just got Wi-Fi last year.
100%. Well, look, we'll get some general All Ireland predictions from yourself then. So, who do you think's winning Leinster?
Look at
be careful how you answer this now.
Who is going to win the Leinster Championship? Look at Dublin. But Kildare, hopefully give themselves a good account of themselves. Them 4 lads was brought in to manage that team, the backroom team. They would have definitely be going for a Leinster Championship this year. The no Dublin can be got it. So I hope Kildare can give themselves good account of themselves. And Daniel Flynn will be hopefully leading the charge. But look at Dublin get their house in order in time, and Dublin should win Leinster for the 95th time.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be parades on the streets, make no mistake about it. And parades definitely will be happening down in Munster for the Kerry men, because regardless of where they play Cork, whether it's on the Moon, Parky Rin, or Parky Queeve, or whatever they decide, Kerry are like, there's no point even asking you that one, really. Like, surely Kerry are winning that.
Limerick could say. No, look, Kerry by a canter. They are looking for that Sam Maguire title. They care more about the Munster Championship, Aaron, than I care about tennis, right? So there's only one winner of that Munster Championship this year, and it's going to be the Kingdom.
Yeah. Sadly. What do you think, Connacht? Will Mayo have enough good Roscommon sneak it? Maybe Galway, obviously, like as we were saying. Like, I think Connacht would be interesting.
Maybe New York.
I mean, they have to use that population at some point. according to everyone, and that speaks about GAA, population is everything.
Oh man! Oh, there's the dub sailors. Connacht
fighting back.
You buy it up the dubs. Look, I think for this one, it's very, very, very much like Ulster. It's a bit of a minefield, but I think I'll give the green and red a chance. I think they will probably beat Galway just because season campaigners. They'll be up Shane Walsh's shorts. Damien Comer will be injured as usual, and I think Mayo will be lifting the Connacht title this year.
Could you win Ulster, the Cavan men? Could you?
Oh, is that the next one?
Yeah, the next one. Could you repeat the famous sphere of 2020, or who do you think there?
Look, okay, regarding us, and hope we'll do an Ulster Championship preview soon enough. I think, right, we have a few boys back. Darren McVeety apparently is back from his travels. No one can confirm to me. I've asked about 10 million people, is he home for good or not? And no one give me a definite answer. I don't know, is that just a Cavan way of going on? It just drives you nuts. But we've Kieran Hall-Brady back in contention, apparently. He's recovering from his ACL. He looked like he was having a good night after he injured himself anyway last year, so hopefully he's sobered up at this stage. But look, a lot like we the injury list seems to be getting shorter. Oisin Kearnan's on the way back too. I think we might put a run together. I think we will beat Antrim. I know, as much as the whole country thinks we'll not beat them. What happens after that, I'm not sure. A bit of a minefield, Donegal or Armagh. More than likely Donegal, because I think Donegal probably will get over the line against Armagh. We might put a run together, but winning it, I'm not too sure, because you have a lot of big candidates there. The disadvantage for us is playing Division 4 teams, not playing similar quality teams as the other teams we played. So beat Antrim, whatever happens after that. But the Ulster champions this year, very, very, very hard to call. We'll see Tyrone this weekend. We'll see ourselves in Antrim next weekend. Probably either team won't win that. We'll see what Tyrone's going to be like. We'll be all guns blazing this weekend. But the Ulster winners this year, it's such a hard one to call. We'll go, I think Declan Bonner, he's on Tailteann Ice up in Donegal as well. It's a very hard one to call, big man. You could have phoned a friend there or something, or 50-50.
Yeah, we'll get someone in the comments maybe to answer that one for you. Like, yeah, it is very tough, all right, because like I think you'd look at the winner of Donegal and Armagh. I feel like that's a safe bet, because most likely the winner of that is going to win the Ulster semis and then go on to the final. Like, but one county we haven't really spoke about too much is Derry.
Derry, you really, Battle League.
Yeah, I was saying there, obviously,
no
11 in the power rankings. No Kieran McFell. Could Derry maybe be a surprise package in Ulster? Could they do something special? Kieran McFell, yeah.
McFall.
It's a Dublin way of talking. You have to get used to it.
It's like you correct me, I correct you. Look, Derry probably had a bad early campaign, but Rory Gallagher, he will be putting a lot of emphasis into the championship. Right, if you break those championship down, because it's the most important one, it's the most competitive one, so it's the most one people talk about, because the rest of them really are duds. But if you look at everyone's chances, right, say Monaghan have a great chance this year. Did a good out league campaign. They'll be taking a lot of heart from that Dublin game. Banty will be mad to win it this year. Armagh, shit or bust. McGeaney, I said a couple of minutes ago, if it's not this year, when will it be? I think that's his last year with Armagh. If things will go right this year, it's a massive opportunity. So we'll see what way. I think the winners of Armagh and Donegal probably will win it. Declan Bonner, Donegal. Michael Murphy needs to keep fit. Paddy McBrearty, he hopefully he's in for a big year. He's a fabulous footballer. We know the talent he has. Never won an All-Star. I couldn't believe that. Me and you's never won an All-Star, so like he's a good company. Anyone could win it. I'm buzzing for the Ulster Championship for the first time in a long time, big man. You can't give it a good rattle. We'll wait and see. But the winners of it, you may as well be trying to crack the Da Vinci Code, big man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like looking at a maths equation from the 1800s or something. It's going to be a very, very tough one to predict. Just in response to this question, really, here from Sir Klopp, one underdog you think could sneak into the semis, and we'll speak about this maybe before the $1 million question. But what do you reckon? It could, who's an I mean, Donegal are kind of I don't know if they are. Yeah, like I don't know if they are an underdog as such, but I feel like they could get to a semi-final. I think Roscommon definitely have a really good chance.
Yeah. You need someone new, big man. You need someone new, like, because it's gone a bit stale. I know Tyrone did it with it last year, but you need new teams coming. Roscommon, it'd be great to see them thereabouts. I'm blue in the face saying this. They've some absolutely brilliant forward. So it'd be great to see them making a stab at it. Maybe Galway. So Galway, Roscommon, maybe Derry if they can get their house in order. Kieran McFall is a huge loss. I think why can't he commit? Was it just commitment? He wasn't putting it in, was it?
Yeah, I've no idea, to be honest. Like he started 5 games, came off the bench in a lot of other games, so he fairly well, he was involved. He played very well throughout the entirety of the league. So I'm honestly not sure what.
I think it was his commitment, or I think he wasn't putting in the train, or his commitment to cause. But God Almighty, like county commitments, like you need to be half a horse, half a man to keep up with what's going on there at the minute. Like I'm just about playing club football at the minute, never mind county. Derry could be there, but it just depends on Mr. McGuigan's form as well. It depends on a lot of these lads' form. Like Donegal as well, can they try to get back up to that All-Ireland summit? That's probably why Mr. McBrady's never won an All-Star. I can't believe he has never won an All-Star. How did he not win one after 2012? Like,
yeah. 2012, 2014, you'd look at those years and like unless he, I don't know if he had an injury 2014, but yeah, you'd look at those 2 years and think, how did he not get in there? I know obviously in the other years, you look at Donegal like in 2019, 2020 as well, like kind of losing before the semi-final stage. So
they need to make a big impact. They need to get back to that holy grail. They need to win the Anglo-Cell Cup. They need to kind of get that show on the road again. But it just doesn't seem like the player. Like it's kind of got to the stage. No Murphy, no party, and it's an unfortunate case of events. Really, like that's the way the team is. I know McBurdy is an absolutely top class forward, but realistically, when Mr. Michael Murphy is not about big man, they're struggling big time. So that's why they need that other marquee forward to kind of step up and say, right, I'm going to take this game, but just go for like I know McBurdy's there, but he can go hide in a lot of games, but. See, that's for me. But surprise packages, well, Galway, Roscommon, Derry, if they can get their house in order, and yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. New York, I mean, who knows? Limo says here, as a Kerry fan, I'm not liking all this favourites talk. Do you think the added meanness in their defence is enough to get them across the line in the white heat of championship against Dublin?
Great question,
Tyrone? It is, isn't it? And it is that is the one kind of concern I would have for Kerry. Now, I think Dublin and Tyrone definitely do have to improve, and there clearly is, obviously, you've players opting out, bits of different things going on behind the scenes. You don't know what the state of them counties, but if Dublin and Tyrone could get their act together, if one of those could get their act together, they could give Kerry a very stiff test. And let's not forget as well, I do think all the pressure really is going to be on Kerry this year in a lot of those semi-finals, finals, quarterfinals, because, although Dublin... Like there's always pressure on Dublin, but I think the nationwide pressure will be more so on Kerry, because I think everyone is expecting them to finally deliver and get over the line.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I said this to you off air, like it just keeps boiling back to this fact. Croke Park, it's going to be July this time, June, warm summer's day, as Liam said. I think the defence should be organised at this stage. Paddy Tally's gone up there. He looks like he's doing a very, very good job so far. Jack O'Connor's obviously gone back. So that's what I keep saying. That's the $1 million question on everyone's lips. Can Kerry do it on that warm, hot summer's day in Croke Park? And Mr. Clifford, will he stand up? So look, it's going to be absolutely intriguing. So yeah, no, it will be very, very interesting against the likes of a Dublin or Tyrone, because that's where the best teams are at the minute. I think the 100% of the firepower, like Jason Foley and them boys, they are absolutely flying at the minute. You'd like to think that situation is sorted at the minute, because look at Paddy Tally, like he's coming up from down, he's obviously not going up there for the good of his health. He knows what, needs to be done. It looks like they finally shored up the defence. They look like a well-oiled machine, Liam. So me and Aaron, obviously, we're saying off air, but Christ, I know, Aaron, maybe you don't want to say it, but Christ, Aaron, if it's not this year, when will it be?
Yeah, no, I think it is inevitable at some point with the players that they have. I think for me, really, it's just more about delaying it as much as possible, because I think once they get one over the line, you'll see them potentially do 2-3 in a row, or they might not do what Dublin done and win 6 in a row, but I think they'll be thereabouts year on year. And I think all of a sudden then they'll be asking to split Kerry in two.
I know, big man, but Dublin and all this kind of crack, and fair enough, Kerry did dominate, but that's the standards that teams need to get up to, and it's probably just a case of teams finally getting up to Dublin standard, e.g. last year, what Mayo done against Croke Park in that wet day in Croke Park in last August. But you need a new team. Can Kerry be the ones to dominate things? We'll wait and see. But Christ, there's so much talk about Clifford, Paddy Clifford, and all this kind of crack. But I think I said this a couple of days ago. It suits every other team in Ireland so much now. It suits Dublin, Tyrone, Mayo. All the talk about is David Clifford at the minute. All the talks about Kerry, the way they're playing. Every other team that has aspirations of winning All Ireland this year, it suits them down to the ground. And David Clifford gave a great interview off the ball yesterday.
Oh, absolutely riveting stuff. There was another comment I was going to get up here. Yeah, it's all about the look of the draw and the qualifiers on form. You'd have Rossi's nail to go through, but if they draw Armagh, then it could be lights out, and that is exactly the point. Yeah, and because even obviously you've Kerry and Cork on one side of the draw and Munster, but you've got the likes of Clare and Limerick on the other side of the draw. Like if Clare were to get a handy qualifier, let's say, before an All-Ireland quarter-final, they could potentially get to an All-Ireland quarter-final. So I suppose it really is all if, buts and maybes. Who are you going for then to win the All-Ireland? Are you backing Kerry then, or are you going to make a bold prediction?
Oh, big man, it's kind of like Ulster. It's an absolute minefield. Did I give my Ulster prediction in the end after all the smack talk?
I'm not sure you did. No, I think you were like a politician there. You didn't answer the question.
Right, Ulster, but before, without not answering your question, Ulster, by the way, I probably will go with, I go with Tyrone. And that could be easily changed again, but Tyrone for the minute. All Ireland, look, all directions are pointing towards Kerry. But there's going to be a lot of twists and turns. There's going to be a lot of interesting games between now and then. Jude's going to be a very, very interesting month for the All-Ireland Football Championship. Kerry inside Croke Park, warm, hot summer's day. Oh, it's going to be a tough one. Suits Dublin down to the ground at the minute. All this media hype about the kingdom. Mayo will be thereabouts again, Aaron, as much as you'd love to see that. Tyrone will be there again. Armagh. But the winners of this year's All-Ireland, if it's not Kerry, then I'll eat that hat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'd be down there in the celebrations down in Killarney if Kerry won it.
Yes, with this Orga jersey on me.
100%. Well, I suppose footballer of the year then. I know that's another very, very tasty question, but
yeah,
I mean there is a one particular Clifford really that you can't really look past. But would you have another opinion, do you think?
Yeah, look, it depends what kind of journey. If Kerry get to the penultimate stage, I think I keep saying it, all directions do keep pointing towards Kerry. Kerry looked good last year, but that a very, very key point in all this as well. And it's only says watching some of the podcasts about it. Kerry's Munster Championship is ridiculously bad preparation for the All-Ireland series. So teams are going to say, right, they're not going to be playing good teams. Ulster Championship, Tyrone, right, won the All-Ireland last year, had a serious journey in Ulster. Look what happened to them. Ulster Championship, All-Ireland champions. So Kerry's preparation to go up them steps at the Hogan stand is very, very bad. So realistically, Kerry could be in for an interesting season yet. But look, if the Dublin's there, like Brian Fenton, he'd be mad to prove a point this year. Can he get back on? Can he go for third player of the year? The Conor Callan issue still hasn't been sorted out. But look, on current form, the way Kerry's moving, I suppose you probably would have to say David Clifford unless something dramatically changes. But Kerry's Munster preparation is not ideal, AP.
No, and as you said there, like I think the example definitely of Tyrone winning it last year really does show, I suppose,
It's
the
different stuff.
yeah.
Tough tests, you see, tough tests. Like
Mm.
that's how you win any competition. Like they made light work of us. Who did play in the next round? Tyrone, Donegal, no. Who did last year? I can't even remember. Very
I
stuffed.
think they play. I think they played Donegal and then Monaghan. I think it was, wasn't it?
You won in the
Mm.
final, like in Croke Park, and got over the line against them. Dirty kind of game. Bet Kerry in the semi final. Bet a strong Green and Red and Mayo. So it's a tough series. That's the games you need to play to win in All Ireland. Kerry won't have something similar like that. Kerry won't be tested to the quarterfinal, semi final. So look, it's going to be an interesting championship. I think Oisin Conville last week, hinted at a Tyrone All Ireland victory. You could be looking at the Sam Stain in Ulster for another year, Aaron. But God, we're for once we're actually in for an interesting summer because it's not just going to be Dublin once again. But you can't rule out the Jacks either.
No, definitely not. And I suppose, yeah, like I suppose on the flip side of that, like Dublin used to have it very handy in the Leinster Championship, and then
Yeah.
they still had what it took by the time, quarterfinals, semi-finals. Sometimes Dublin wouldn't even get tested till the final. Really, you look back to 2020 when we absolutely
Yeah.
demolished yourselves in the semi-finals.
Come on, any team would bloody demolish us in current form. But Dublin's preparation, I think. Look, what Dublin always had was the strength and depth, and a very good, like a point in all this is Sean O'Shea. That's a man not being talked about. He's a great addition now in a couple of weeks' time. Dublin's strength and depth. If you look at it, Dublin starting 15. Brian Fenton, James McCarthy, right? The starting 15 is very good. But when shit's hitting the fan, warm, hot summer's day in Croke Park, who are you boys going to bring off the bench, JP?
For Dublin. Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? That's been the problem. I mean, you've maybe I'll make an appearance.
Fit, will you? I'm playing the face end, yeah.
I'll have to get out there. I'll have to lay off the pizzas, the burgers, and the points. More points in the bar than on the pitch.
But no, look, that's 100% it. Like Dublin, they don't have the strength and depth this year. It's so clear to be seen. There's still whispers about what the hell is going on with Colin Callan. Is he back? Is he not back? We need to get confirmation of that. We'll wait to see. But I think Kerry's strength and depth should get them over the line this year. And Jack O'Connor is going to be a happy man. The kingdom.
100%. Yeah, I can imagine he will be over the moon. Make no mistake about it. If Kerry do go on and win the All Ireland for a first time since 2014. I suppose we'll go ahead and finish it up there. I suppose, John, for your own podcast, all the rest, where can people find you? They might see a very familiar face over there from time to time. So
100%, yeah.
Where can they find you? If they want to see a bit more of you, if they're not fed up with you already.
Jesus. What is the crack of mine? Yes, YouTube, the JMac Podcast, Twitter at the JMac Podcast. My other page is at John_Mac_Mahan. Facebook John McMahon. That's probably where I put up the most of my podcast. And league reviews, previews, championship previews, reviews, all coming up. I've Aaron on the podcast, Kevin McGurty, Matty Ford, Daniel Gould, some top names joining me the last couple of weeks. It's great. Really enjoying the crack with the lads. And Jay, it's great fun, and it's good to be on your podcast every now and again, big man.
Absolutely. James Joyce has come in with a very interesting question there to finish up. Is Oisin Mullen
Joyce's brother, son, is it?
Could be, yeah. He's listening to this podcast for a bit of inspiration, you could say there. Is Oisin Mullen the man to mark Clifford this year? It wouldn't be for me now.
I don't
but then
know.
Again, but for me, I think Keegan, to be honest. But then I don't know, because you kind of need Keegan. You want Keegan further up the pitch at times. So I'm not sure, to be honest. Obviously that's a question to answer more so when the All Ireland comes around. Like,
I'd say the best way to mark David Clifford on current form is, do you know when they're signing people in like the mental asylums and they just have them wrapped up, and just wrap them up, get a chain around it and lock it up? I think that might be the only way to mark Clifford. No, joke aside, lads, I haven't a clue. Oisin Mullen, Mullen's a fantastic player. We've seen Mr. Parker Horror, the roasting he got in Croke Park a couple of weeks ago. God knows what Parker Horror was saying to him. Like, I wouldn't mind hearing what he said to him. I wouldn't say it was too nice, but look, I don't know who would mark him, but you know, he could be the man. He could be the man, but on current form, you need someone marking him, then you need someone to sit in front of him. But Christ, Horan's tactics, just leave Mr. Horan in by himself against Clifford. That's inundated. That's nonsense. And you need to be more aware of the danger. A Tyrone battle against Kerry in the championship will be very interesting this year, because I think Michael McKernan will say everything under the sun to him, and he'll be able to mix it physically with him. Ronan McNamee done a brilliant job in Clifford last year. A Tyrone Kerry game this year, Aaron. That'll be one to look forward to, big man.
Absolutely viable solution. Says if Jack O'Connor wins the All-Ireland, he would be the only manager to come back and win it on 3 different stints as a manager. He would be, yeah. And interesting enough, doing it in the first year of all his managerial appointments there as well, which would be interesting.
I keep saying it, but folks, if for anyone watching in, if Kerry play Tyrone this year, that'll be an absolutely mouth-watering game, because Tyrone always have Kerry's number. All this talk about Kerry at the minute. Oh, lads, it's going to be a juicy championship, and Tyrone could be the men to bring Clifford down. So we will wait and see. I can't wait to see that game. But referring briefly for a second, when Tyrone played Kerry this year, who marked Clifford in the league?
Tyrone played Kerry off. I've no idea. The game wasn't even on TV, I don't think. I'm trying to remember from watching the highlights.
Maybe. No.
Might have been, yeah.
McNamee. One of them, but look, at Tyrone are the team to take Kerry down, and Mr. McConville could be right.
Yeah, I actually don't even think Clifford might have started that game as well. I think he might have came off the bench, because it was the last league game. Kerry obviously already had the league final wrapped up. But we'll go ahead and wrap this up here anyway. Cheers to anyone who left any comments throughout the stream. If you could smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, very much appreciated. And
smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and smash everything else.
That's what it's all about. You have to smash life. If you don't, life will smash you. There's a quote for you.
That is a good one, AP. That is a good one, AP.
Perfect. Top man, John. Cheers for coming on.
No worries,